Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Episode 17 of the RT Machine podcast. That was my best Brian Krailing.
I was going to say, that's not really Brian Krailing there, but
Brian is not here.
Let's see if we faked anybody out.
Yeah, right. I get a lot of people that I can fake them out for a pretty long time on the phone. They think I'm you.
Oh, yeah. I hear that a lot.
We sound pretty much alike.
Yeah.
Anyway, today in the studio, I am Erik.
I'm Ron.
Dean's over here.
Dean's here.
The great Dino Bambino. So we thought we'd kind of recap our week. Ron and I spent the week in Europe visiting a couple of our partners over there. So kind of wanted to update you guys on what's going on, what we have planned for the future here. And yeah, that's the point of today.
It was an interesting week. We left last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the date, but it wasn't this past Saturday. It was last Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be really confusing because the podcast comes out a few days later. So. Anyway, we left on a Saturday.
We left on a Saturday and then got over there on a Sunday, right? We left Saturday night, got there Sunday morning.
Yep.
Had to rent a car, so Erik had, of course, earlier this year, he got to drive in Germany, and now he got to drive in Italy.
Yeah, my first experience driving in Italy. First time driving a stick in quite a few years, which was fun.
Yeah.
I first got in the car, I put my foot on the brake and went to start it, and the car started moving. I was like, oh, my God. Dad's like, you got to put your foot on the clutch. It's been a while.
I remember the old days, yeah.
But that wasn't too bad. I was just telling these guys before we started recording, driving in Italy was not bad. Like the drivers were not particularly aggressive or anything. Everybody drives fast, but they don't cut you off too much. But I don't know. We flew in and out of Newark, and the drive home, I was at one point leaning out the window screaming at somebody. I'm not sure what happened over in Italy.
Probably part of it is your exhaustion.
Made me aggressive. Yeah. So we got there Sunday in the morning, had a couple hours drive to our hotel. We didn't have anything planned for Sunday. We decided to go out a day early, basically so we would have time to get over the jet lag, right?
So we'd be fresh for Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did it work?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
They always tell you not to sleep when you get there because of the time difference, but it was so early in the day. I don't know if you did. I took like 2 hours. We took a little nap, and
Probably about an hour for me.
it seemed like it helped a little bit, and got up, and then I don't even know what the hell did we do. Not much that in the afternoon. Then
Yeah, it was coming on to noon probably by the time we finally got to the hotel.
Right.
And then we got settled in, took a nap, and then I don't know, it was maybe 3-4 o'clock. We met back up, and actually the hotel that we stayed at had a wine cellar as part of the same company. The
Right.
wine cellar was in the basement. So for staying there, they gave you a free bottle of wine in your room. So, trying to really get into the Italian experience, we sat around in the lobby of the hotel. I think we were the only freaking people there on that particular day, and
we actually sat out on that porch for a while until it started to rain.
Yeah, they had a rooftop deck.
Yeah,
We sat up there looking over the Bra skyline.
Yeah, that's the name of the town, Bra.
In all its glory.
Yeah, small little town.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, known for raw sausage apparently. Yeah.
Which is actually veal.
Veal, yeah.
Veal.
Well, John from Ferwood said about, did you try the raw sausage? And I did. It was on the breakfast buffet thing. But I said, in America, we don't really eat raw pork because it's not good for you. He goes, it's veal. Why do you call it sausage?
Right. So, no fear of trichinosis.
Yeah.
But we had some wine there, and then there was a restaurant right on the site of the hotel, so we went over there and had a nice Italian dinner, really small.
Very small place.
The restaurant was about the size of our podcast studio here.
Yeah. And the waitress didn't understand English, and we didn't understand Italian. We're sitting there waiting for our check, and finally I was motioning to her, like I'm signing a check, and she just pointed to the door. Yeah. So went in there, and some guy took my credit card. I don't know.
Yeah, he could have charged you for God knows what.
Yeah. We paid something.
It's not like we were going to go line by line down the bill.
Yeah.
Try to argue with the guy.
That was good. It was good food.
So, but the point of going to Bra, which is we flew into Milan, and in the town of Bra is one of our partners, which is called Ferwood. Some of you may have heard of them. They essentially do what we do, but they're based out of Italy. And then they do have an office here in the U.S. and they have an office in the U.K., but they are 100% used machinery.
Right.
More, almost 100% towards the panel processing side of the business and much higher production type equipment.
Yeah, it's
But,
all big panel saws, edge banders, CNC machines, feed-through boring machines.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to find a shaper in his warehouse.
Right. Yeah, they had one small edge bander, a little Brandt, and I was even confused to see that.
Yeah.
But we started working with these guys quite a bit over the last few years. And to the outside, it might seem like an odd partnership, but they're just, I don't know, they're just really good people. They're easy to work with.
Yeah. Very straightforward. Family business like ours.
Mhm.
Good, honest people like we are. And
Yeah. Yeah, we were meeting with Ricardo and him and his father, and I think there's another brother in the business, right?
and a
and
sister. I think. Yeah.
Started the company, I think back in the 90s. And then John, who runs the U.S. office, we met with him and his key accounts guy. So kind of the point was we had never been to their main facility.
Right. They've been asking us for like 2 years to come over.
Right. Italy's not exactly a hop, skip.
Ricardo made a big deal about it. Finally, after 2 years, I
Right.
get you here.
So we were already planning to go over there, so we decided to kind of tie 2 trips into one. So we, on Monday mid-morning, we went over there and got our tour. Well, everything starts off with a cup of coffee in Italy.
Yeah, espresso.
Espresso.
Everything's espresso.
First thing you sit down, cafe.
And we learned if you drink a cappuccino after 11 o'clock, you're just bad.
Yeah, you're very obviously a tourist.
Yeah, you're not Italian for sure. It's interesting. They have a big place, 2 facilities. The main office, I think, was 70,000 square feet behind that office.
I think you're right. That's what he said.
Right. And then he took us to another location, which is a bigger complex with, I think, 4 buildings.
Yep.
And that whole complex is probably another 150,000 feet.
Yeah, I think I want to say it was approaching 250,000 square feet. They do everything in square meters, so we had to calculate everything.
Yeah.
But I want to say it was approaching 250,000
between the 2.
Yeah.
So it's very impressive. Everything's laid out very neatly, packaged very well. We learned some things that we want to employ here, and we had things to dream of, like overhead cranes, and that I've been dreaming about for a long time. So.
Yeah, so if you've ever been to RT Machine Company, we have a nice collection of forklifts here. But at Ferwood, man, there's probably 2 forklifts on that whole site, and then everything else is done with bridge cranes.
Yeah, very nice ones.
Dustin and I were out there in the warehouse yesterday trying to, put our heads together to see if we could actually make it make sense and how it would improve our flow in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's obviously it was, they probably had, 10, 12, 15 CNC routers. It was a lot more. They have a ton of edge banders, double-sided edge banders.
Stuff that you would never find over here.
Right.
I mean, the CNCs you would, but double-sided banders and combination machines, those feed-through boring machines, you just don't find that kind of used equipment over here.
Yeah, not a ton of clientele for it either.
That's true. So bigger companies.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we've been working with them. We have some inventory here that we own jointly with them, and some of their inventories here, and been able to sell some equipment. It's worked out pretty nicely for us. And they want us to try to move some of their stuff from over there and sell it over here. So we'll see how that goes. Get more stuff on our website, and just become a closer partner together with those guys. So I think it'll work out well, and we're gonna give it a go.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
We had dinner with those guys. Had a chance to eat some funky stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I went for just the plain old.
Yeah, you just had like braised beef.
Yeah,
Or something.
it was very good. Slow cooked.
I think I told Dino that they had sweetbreads on the menu. Thankfully, they give you an English menu. And sweetbreads I know them as thymus gland here from cow, and I ordered the sweetbreads, and everybody at the table was like, "You realize that's testicles?" It's like I don't think it is. And they brought it to the table, and if those were testicles, they were not very nice to them because they're kind of flattened out. But they're very good. They were fried and kind of had a sweet flavor. It ends up looking like a chicken nugget, really.
The food was good. Everything was good there.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of wine.
Yeah, more wine.
And then the next day we took just a small plane over to Trieste, which is kind of like a satellite airport of Venice.
Kind of like be going into Harrisburg, probably, right?
Yeah, kind of like that. And the president of Friulmac picked us up at the airport.
Sergio
Nevello, which a lot of our listeners and our customer base might know about Friulmac. It's obviously an Italian manufacturer of woodworking machinery. One of our main vendors, our main brands that we represent here.
They do more solid wood type equipment over there. Head matchers, coping machines, tenoners.
Yep. So we Joe, who's the U.S. rep here, was not there yet, so we spent the day with Sergio, had lunch and stuff, and spent a little bit of time. Did we even go to the plant that day?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we did.
Yeah, that afternoon we walked around the plant.
Yep. They have some new machinery that they're planning to come out with. I don't think we're prepared to announce that just yet, but they were having their first runoff on one of the new machines.
It's actually for an American customer.
Yep.
That was there.
Mm-hmm. They're planning to show that at IWF, but we'll announce it much earlier than that, maybe January or so.
Right.
So
we saw a couple of end matchers, big high production end matchers they're working on for another country.
France.
Oh, France, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a customer in France that already has one or two Friulmac. We call them cross transfer end matchers. You might see like the Doucettes, same idea.
Yeah, that bundle cutter. Where was that going? That
bundle. Oh, the bunk.
Yeah,
the saw.
Yeah.
I kept calling it a
bunk, Russia,
bunk
did
saw.
you say? Where the hell was that going?
I don't know where that. I'm not sure if that was sold, to be honest with you.
Oh, I thought it was.
So that's part of. If you've been through our warehouse recently or seen any of our email blasts, Friulmac has a line of equipment called the Frimat, which is geared towards profile wrapped cabinet doors. So they have a foiler, an edge band, or a drill and dowel machine, and then this machine we're talking about now is it's a push feed automatic cutoff saw.
Right.
But we call it a bunk saw because you can put a stack of parts on there, and it has a scoring blade on the bottom and then a larger main saw blade, and it can give you a really nice cut because that profile wrap stuff has to be a clean cut. So I'll get their permission maybe. Well, I think we already put that on Instagram. I didn't even wait for Sergio's permission.
What's that?
So I put a picture of that Frimat chop saw on Instagram. Yeah. So check that out. It's pretty cool. So what else? A couple double end tenoners and process over there.
Yeah, one was I think it was a boring machine. They were testing it. The panels were coming in and just boring on the sides of the panels, the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
So I'm trying to think what else was in process there. Obviously the machine that they were doing the runoff.
Yeah.
And they have their own machine shop there. They had a storm come through a couple months ago and destroyed the roof in the machine shop. So it's basically a swimming pool with 480 running through it.
Yeah, and he's just having a hard time getting roofer to come in and fix it.
Yeah.
So that was a mess.
Jeez.
It was that day. He said they haven't had rain for like 2 months, and our lucky trip.
Yeah, it rained the whole damn week.
Yeah, and it rained really hard that day. And we walked in the building, and it was like raining inside. It was just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty upset about it.
It's a disaster, he kept saying.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So then Joe came in the next day. I forget what that night we had pizza, I think. We had a lot of pizza with Friulmac.
Right. Well, you wanted pizza at lunch, and Sergio's like, no, we're having pizza tonight. The place is fantastic. It's fantastic. And then that place was closed. So we went back to the place where you wanted the pizza and had the pizza. Then Joe made arrangements for the next night, and we went to the pizza shop that was closed the first night. So we had pizza both nights. But it was just good pizza.
That's how it was when Ryan and I went there last May, though. I had pizza 2 or 3 times when we were with Friulmac. I don't care.
Yeah. Not going to find it over here like that. So I like the second night better than the first night, the one I had.
The thinny thin.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, so then Joe was there the next day, which would have been Wednesday, I guess.
Yeah.
And
he came, well, he was a little late. The customers were late.
They both had a nightmare of a trip.
Yeah. And they got there about the same time. So Joe took the customers down to the shop, and then he came up and had meetings with us.
Yeah. The customers flew through Turkey, which if you're listening, months later, today's Halloween, and of course the Gaza war, the current Gaza war, just started about 3 weeks ago. So
yeah,
I'm not sure I'd be thrilled about flying through Istanbul right now.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't either. But they didn't seem to have a problem with it.
No,
I think they're going back the same way.
Yeah. They said it's a beautiful airport. So, and we have a friend who was just here yesterday who was just recently to a trade show in Turkey. That was like the week of, right?
That's Chris Timmer from Scarlett. He was flying to Turkey when they first started, right after the attack, the original October 7th, I guess. And he said that there were 60 seats became available because they were transferring from Chicago through Istanbul to Israel, and that flight to Israel got canceled because of that. And so had a little extra leg room, elbow room, I guess. Our flight over was not that crowded.
No.
But the flight back was full.
Yeah. The flight back, I had a guy that was about 7 feet tall sitting next to me, and his knees were spilling over into my seat.
But that was fun.
Could have been worse.
Yeah. We got home. Well, we can talk about our trip home. But
Yeah. So we had pretty much all day meetings with Joe and Sergio and Alessandro, who's their, what do they call him? Director.
Yeah. I guess he'd be like this president, and Sergio's a CEO. I'm not sure how they designate. But.
Yeah, something like that. And the idea is we don't really have an announcement to make yet, but we're further solidifying our partnership here in the United States, and RT is going to be much more involved in the distribution of particularly their standard line of equipment.
Yep, that's right. So we're working out the details on that and how it's gonna work. But I think conceptually we're all in agreement. I mean, something could fall apart, but I think it's going to go that way. So we have they don't really have a place to bring stuff in for inventory. We have the place to bring it and distribute it from here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And Joe's much more busy now with bigger projects, multi-million-dollar lines that they sell, 2-pass 10-inch lines and stuff like that are going very well for Joe. So he's looking for somebody to help with the standard stuff. So looks like that's what we'll be doing, and very happy about it. Been a good product for us.
Yeah, again, like we were discussing with the Friulmac guys, it's just the partnership just makes sense from our side because Joe's one of my best friends in this business.
Yeah. Well, I've known Joe. I mean, I knew him back when he was working for Wally, Master Carvers. He worked he was in the wood business, and then moved into selling machinery. So we've just been working together with him for a very long time. And great guy. And he's got his son coming into the business that he wants to work on the projects with. So it'll work out well for both companies, and all 3 families and 2 companies, I guess you call it. So it'd be a good deal.
Yeah, Sergio kept bringing up, it seems like every hour he's bringing up how his son's coming up through the business, Joe's kids, me.
Yeah, and Sebastiano was there with us, not in the meetings because he was working on the machine, but Erik knows him real well, and everybody gets along great. So it'll be a great partnership.
Yeah, we're excited for sure.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, and we had more meetings on Thursday. We had dinner Wednesday night with the customer and everybody, and then we went back for a couple more meetings, and then we flew out of there at 2:45 their time, but not really.
Yeah.
The plane coming in was late, so we were late, and we were late getting to Frankfurt, Germany.
Yeah, when we first got to Friulmac, Sergio was kind of talking about how they used to do a lot more flying out of Trieste, and then they stopped having a flight from Trieste to Munich. he said, since then, we don't really use this airport. And we're like, why? He goes, because Frankfurt's kind of a pain. And he was absolutely correct.
It wasn't even Frankfurt's fault. It was
Yeah.
the flight coming to us was about an hour late, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, so we were late. And then, well, again, the Frankfurt was a pain because they parked us on the tarmac. So, well, it wasn't the tarmac, but we had to go down steps instead of through an airport.
Yeah, and then take a bus to the gate, right?
We took a bus to the main terminal, which then we had to get to another terminal, and then we had to go to the end of the terminal. And we got there. Finally, there sat our airplane, but the walkway was pulled back from the
bridge was
plane.
already retracted, and there was nobody at the gate.
There. Nobody.
Barren wasteland.
That whole concourse was just like, I kept saying to Erik, like, where are all the people? Like, and it was only, what time was it? Like 6 o'clock?
Yeah, not late.
Where the hell are all the people? And we couldn't find Lufthansa, right? How you say it? Lufthansa was the airline. Couldn't find anybody at customer service desk. We're like, what the hell are we going to do? So we finally found where to go. Well, this guy told us that was the last flight.
Yeah, there were no flights back to the United States that day.
Because we kept insisting we wanted to get home. Want to get home tonight. And then Erik got on the phone with some guy. It was rude, very rude. Erik finally got pissed off and hung up on the guy.
Yeah.
Might have called him a few names, but so anyway, we finally found a customer service. We had to get a number. We must have sat there for an hour.
Yeah, maybe. We're like, oh, there's only 12 people ahead of us. This will go fast. I don't know.
Yeah. So we finally got to talk to a guy who was very nice.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah. Got us on a plane the next morning. I guess it was close to noon, 11.
Yeah, just a direct flight back to Newark, thankfully.
And we just had to spend the night, so he got us hotel room, dinner and breakfast. So they took care of everything, so that worked out. So, yeah. Joys of traveling. Me and Joe keep saying that.
Yeah. It certainly could have been worse, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we made it home. That's what matters. So, day late, but we got here. So yeah, that was our trip. It was, I think, a very successful trip. The Ferwood stuff was good. The Friulmac stuff was good. Food was good. And we made it.
Got back home, and Monday morning, the Harlan runoff was starting, so it's been, an active couple of weeks.
Picked up the guys at the airport at 9:30 and brought them over here and spent the day pretty much the day. I took them back around 3, I think, so it was pretty much the whole day. But they went well. Got some things to button up on that, but plan is for that to leave on Monday. Well, it has to leave on Monday because they're not going to hole in the wall to put it in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you weren't in the meeting, but he said, the one guy from Virginia, he's like, am I supposed to continue with cutting the hole in the wall? And yep. So it's going down there one way or the other. Monday afternoon, the main 2 pieces are to arrive.
Well, we'll figure out how to get out of here. The boys are excited to have it out of the shop because it takes up 3/4 of the shop.
No, unfortunately, we're just going to put another one in there.
True. Well, not necessarily, unfortunately.
Yeah. Take the bad with the good.
For sure.
Takes up a lot of room, but it's a good project.
I think we're finally going to post some pictures of this thing. For months we've been talking about this Harlan project, and a lot of listeners probably don't have any idea what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll post some pictures of it here, and then they plan on taking some when it's up and running. We'll do a video with the drone because it's like 100 feet long, so you can't just take pictures. So, yep, good project. We got some other good stuff going on. Got a couple of rip saws we got to get ready. Got a planer. So, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, we'll finish off the year strong here.
Absolutely.
I think what the plan, Dino, is we were just going to do a short recording here, and then a few months ago, Sergio from Friulmac was here with Joe.
So when we first started talking about this partnership that we're now telling you about, yep.
Mm-hmm. And we recorded a short interview with Sergio, so I think we're going to tag that on here at the end, right?
Yep, we can do that.
All right.
So
that sounds good.
Roll right into that. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
There's Brian again. All right, we're back here at the RT podcast. Brian's not with us today, so we're going to introduce who we got in the room here with us.
I'm Joe Hammock with Friulmac USA.
Yeah, Joe's one of our longtime partners, and he's here for a visit today, and he brought a really special guest with him, the owner of his company.
Good morning to you. I am Sergio Nevello from Italy, from Friulmac, Italy.
Friulmac, Italy, absolutely. Of course, Erik's here too.
Yep.
So, tell us a little bit about Friulmac and how you get started into the machinery business.
Hey, we start, is a family company that start in the 1955 as a, how you call it, sharpening tools. And then they were one brother, then joined another brother, then after 2 years joined the youngest brother, and the business rise up in that time very fast. But the business of sharpening tools was one thing. The real business started when one of the brothers decided also to create a trade company for selling machines. In the beginning was compressors, spindle molder, planers, something. Until we got in 1962 the visit of the company Whining from Germany looking for a dealer in the area. And there were other dealers already strong, but this Whining decided to choose our family. Even today we don't know why, but it was our success, because then this created a lot of opportunities, and you have to understand that we are grow up in an area where was a big concentration of chair productions and kitchen cabinet door production.
Okay.
So it was a huge quantity of chairs and cabinets produced every day. The business grow up fast, and one day the family said, why you don't do some little machines to be complementary to the molder? For example, a machine just to cut the pieces before to introduce the pieces into the molder.
So the dual feed was your first?
The dual feed, in that time the name was FN3.
Okay.
FN3 like Fratelli Novello, Brothers Novello 3.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's where that came from.
Yeah. And then they decided to set up this company that was the company that started from the service area of this trading company, because this trading company, they have Viney, but then they have also other brands. Okay. So for the service, they created this because the service, like in America, was very, very important to sell.
Sure.
Because one of the advertisements, I remember, was a guy in the paper. The advertisement was a guy with in the ends the screw or something like that.
Right.
So we set up this company with the goal was to create machines for the end operation, because the land operation was the molder.
Yeah, Whining had that covered.
Yeah. And so we built up this FN3 that was only cutting before. But then we start also to think, why you don't cut after? So cut after means cutting imprecise, so different type of tools. Then the customer said, why you don't do a tenon? So profiling, why you don't drill? Drilling, why you don't put a glue and dowel? Put the glue and dowel. So we arrive, the development start from that point, from that moment.
It grew out of demand and request.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we have this application in the church production, mainly from this dual feed, let's say, this feeding with a trim saw, because every company that produce chairs buy this raw material from East countries, from sawmill from this country, and the cutting. It doesn't exist in that time, cross-cut with the selection of the nuts, all these things.
Right.
Or the defecting.
Right.
The defecting. So when arrived these parts, the parts in the ends were not straight. It was with the angle. You know, when the pieces go into the molder, if they are not back-to-back
Straight.
straight, then you can have this type of problem. So with this problem could be the feeding, the problem, and also the consumption of the tools, because the tools have to take away more material, and so we decided to do this machine, and we produce until today more than 2,500, something like that.
Of the dual feeds.
The dual feed, yeah.
Okay.
It's still a big part of our product line, still to today, that we offer. So the very first machine is still being sold.
Right. Yeah, we have a new one out here for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
The design really hasn't changed very much either.
Just a few updates, controls, and hydraulics and things as they advance the technology, but the base is exactly the same.
Yeah. And to be clear, it's a precision double-end trim saw and then automatic molder feeder.
Correct.
It's right in front of the molder for furniture, cabinet components.
Yeah, staircases, dimension mills, anybody that needs to run parts through a specific length, a fixed length application.
Right.
It was the concept was to create a philosophy of working in the way that you cut the raw material, go into the molder. When they exit, you have more or less the same parts in dimension, and you put in the pallet, and then the pallets can go in other operation of the production.
Right.
So you don't need to take away material, cut off parts. You know, you are already straight. So from the straight, you can do other processing without, I can say, some problems.
Right.
That was the philosophy of that time, no? Because when I was young, I tried to sell the machine. But for sell the machine, sometimes you have to sell the process. You have to sell the goal. Why? That is in the time. So
One of the things in my dimension mill that we really liked about the application was you had two people on a double end trim before, then you had two more people on the molder, and just by simply putting these two machines together, those other two people could be used somewhere else, or you're able to keep your labor costs down. So back in that day was just revolutionary for our little process back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Every time you touch a piece, you had cost.
Yeah.
So, for example, today, when you have to produce a 5-piece door in solid wood, we have for example, the rails. They are going to enter into. Before to enter the molder, we are going to cut. Then the molder is going to length profile. Automatically, is going to be exit, and the tolerance in length is enough to take these pieces and drill where you have to put then the rails.
Right.
So we have this big company in our area that they have this way to work, and they work very well.
Yeah.
And they have one man in the entrance, one lady that control all the quality on the line, and then a stacker finish.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So now today you build a lot more machines. What all do you make today?
Today we have principally three markets. One is North America. That for us is very important because we have also a sister company. And then our other market is IKEA product. IKEA for us is a good target. in the sales.
He's saying IKEA, right?
IKEA.
Just make sure everybody understood.
IKEA.
Yeah.
Because IKEA is working with a good part of sub-suppliers, independent. But he has also a department where they have their companies. Mm-hmm. They call IKEA Industry. In the beginning, it was Svedwood. I don't know if you remember this name, Svedwood. But anyway, this is a department of 22,000 people involved. Yeah, so the main areas are Poland, Slovakia, Czechia. Then they have in Romania, in China.
Oh yeah.
They have one company, their company there. So
you're providing them with a lot of larger machines, high production machines.
High production machine because
tenoners and
because IKEA is looking for capacity.
Right.
So also the type of our product is oriented to capacity.
Right.
We have also just-in-time lines. But with some limitations. In the way that, yes, we produce more parts a minute of one, CNC rotor, for example, but we are limited in some jobs, some processing, some profile is, for example, in the windows in Europe, we have only Scandinavia customers that can achieve our just-in-time machines in the windows. And we produce 6 times what we produce with the normal way to produce the windows in Germany, in France. But it's limited in some parts, frame and sash, and a limitation of tools, the mean profiles. So in principle, we have machines for high speed.
Right.
Because also dual feed is a machine for high speed, for example, no? Double ender is high speed.
Yeah.
Floor mat is high speed, another model.
One of our key markets is basically solid wood applications is our bread and butter. So you have, whether it be furniture, flooring, kitchen cabinet doors, also the...
Joe, can you move a little closer?
The staircases, anything to do with the solid wood side of the business.
Yeah, maybe elaborate a little bit, like, Random Mat E, what does that do? Contour Mat, what does that do? So people that don't know your product line.
Sure. Well, we talked about the dual feed for feeding the motor and trimming. From that... we have also machines to do coping. So we have a contour mat base either for one operator to come back, or we have a high-speed version to do end coping.
So that's a double-end machine.
A double-end machine.
Would do trim and cope.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And then we also have random length for the just-in-time, like Sergio spoke about, to do in the kitchen cabinets for the rails if you have a custom shop, but also flooring for the boutique flooring.
And matching.
And then in order to, that same machine we've developed with different ways to change the tool. So if you want just-in-time, small batch, one's one profile, one's the other, we have a high-speed tool changers to make that more automated. And then we also do the big double ends as well, and single end.
Right.
That's for outside door edges.
That'd be your conventional chain fed feed through, like an old Greenlee, but much, much more modernized.
Exactly.
And you can go all the way to barcode setup. I mean,
everything.
Tool changers on double ends. You can go really crazy on these things.
Yeah, because we automate those. It can be fully automated with robot loading, robot offloading, no people involved. Yeah, everything's
Doors
together.
Are done completely when they come out.
Correct. Yeah. Or you can keep it just a base model,
Simple.
just the simple stuff, depending on the application. But we're seeing more and more as the labor issue has become the hot topic now because we can't find people or people are doing other jobs. How do we take those people out? So we try to look at ways to link the equipment together to make it more smart, whether that be with robots, barcode setups, all the things that we can take. Back in the day, you had a lot of skilled woodworkers, and some of that trade's been lost. So now you have to make it up with technology.
Sure.
So that's where our focus has been lately, is reducing labor, increasing technology, and also we still have very robust machines.
Right.
So most of our machines, which you well know, since you're in the used market, have a 25, 30, 35-year lifespan.
Yeah, I don't know what the one you looked at out there, the FN3. How old did you think that was?
FN3. Yeah.
How old was it?
It was in 1981, 82.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll paint it, put new bearings on it, and you'll sell it again, and it'll run another 10 years.
They'll run. Yeah, they still run. Absolutely.
Right, we started in United States in 84 or 86.
Did you come in by yourself through a dealer or importer? Or?
Well, in that time, the first I come together with a guy that used to work in Europe together and know the language very well than me in that time. And he knew already the American market because he used to work for international companies. So I have the opportunity with this guy to come. He helped me to have some, and we visited the Atlanta Fair just to understand how it's moving. And then we found a dealer that he speaks Italian.
Is that Mr.
Mr. Derda, because the mother was not far away from where I live.
Oh, okay.
He got married with an American soldier, and they come here in America.
Okay.
And then from there, I start to come here, and I follow up this market for 3 years. We sold some machines together, mainly concentrated in FN3, FN7 to the Conturamat of today. So we were located in South Bend, Indiana.
Right.
So in that area, that is today for us is very important. And after that, I decided to leave North America to one of my partners, cousin of the family, let's say. One of my partners that we start to come here, and me, I've been involved in development market in Southeast Asia. That also that market for us was in the beginning was very important. And after I think 2 or 3 years, we decided to set up our company in America.
Friulmac USA.
Yeah, Friulmac USA. The reason was to follow up the customer in different way, service, spare part base, and so the reason that we were thinking that if we want to have success, you have to have this type of capacity,
right,
to follow up the market. Of course, we got some good time, some very, I cannot say bad time, but critical time. But anyway, we make experience in South Bend, and then we move in North Carolina 25 years ago, maybe more.
1999, I think is when
99.
That's when you started?
I started in 2001.
Oh, okay.
So they were already in place when I came.
Okay. You were doing that on your own. Your own people were doing that in 99.
Yeah.
And then
We have a
how you
guy-
ran into
we
this
have-
young man.
We have a guy that used to be there, Italian guy, that then we found, for private reason, he have to return back in Italy or follow up American market from Italy, so traveling here often, but you have to be also in Italy. So we found Mr. Hammock, and then we start from him, and I think we have done a good job from that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we are going to continue to do a good job.
Right.
Because we think that our product is going to match the American, I can say, way to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
So-
found it to be that way. I mean, we've been working with you since I started the company, I guess, back in 2006.
Yep.
And selling machinery together and had good success.
Yeah, it's been a good partnership.
Good equipment. So yeah, we like when you sell stuff and you don't really have to hear about it except when they want another one, right?
Yeah, exactly. and quite frankly, you look at our customer base, most of them are multi-machine purchases. So they buy one, then they buy another and buy another. So that speaks a lot to the service and the support. Also the engineering, how well the machines are built in
Right.
Italy. But the service support for us is one of our key points that we really focus on. And we don't have the time to get into it today, but another time maybe you'll invite me back and I can go into my former life when I ate sawdust for a living for 20 years and ran a woodworking shop.
Yeah.
But that was always critical for us because the uptime of the equipment is how we make money.
Mm-hmm.
And if the equipment's down and we can't get support and service, then it's not a good match for us.
Yeah.
So when I came on board, that was one of our key things that we had to focus on and grow that. So we've got a very strong service team and spare parts
Inventory.
We keep over $2.5 million on the shelf,
Right.
and we have some other resources. But
And we've partnered with you on the service end
Yeah.
of it. Do a lot of that work with you too.
so it's
Works out
incredible the way it works.
Yeah, it works out really well.
Yeah.
So
Both are still family-owned companies, obviously. And you both Joe and Sergio have young sons involved in the business, so it's exciting. It's something we were talking about a lot at dinner last night.
Yeah, and it matches up even RT where Ron and you are together now. So our future looks really bright into the future. Once you guys put us out to pasture, then our kids can. Our kids can come and visit us at the nursing home and bring us checks.
there you go. Wow. Or maybe just candy bars. Depends on our state at that point, right? But yeah, and then we talked last night, we're going to strengthen our partnership and try to keep this thing moving forward and growing our companies all together.
Yeah.
It's been a great partnership so far. We're looking for a wonderful future.
Yeah, same.
Well, I would like also to say more info is that working with IKEA, we have been developing for them some machines that are going to exit to the solid wood. So we are going to enter into the panel section. And so we continue to supply them to the solid, but less because IKEA is going to leave the solid wood.
Right.
So, and entering in this field of the panel, why? Because they decided 10 years ago to create a system to assemble the furniture in a very easy way. So they call this project Easy Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
And we were involved, like other two German companies. We are the only one that we were involved. So for us, it's also we are proud for that because the other German company is quite big. But with our technology, sometimes we are better than them. So entering in this section where we have to process panels, where we have to make some keyhole or put plastic dowels with ultrasound technology. That is something that. Sorry, that is something that they have tested years per years, because they want to be sure that this dowel must be fit.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the glue, yes, it's fit, but you don't know if the glue is inside. So when you are going to assemble the furniture, the client can have a problem if this come out. Well, anyway. Since we enter for them, we make also some agreements with company like BSF, for example, for the panel, where they are specialized in panel lines, and where they are going to depending from customer by customer, but you are going to create some machines to put in their line where you have to do some special operation. But sometimes also we have create or develop the product together with some customers in America directly.
Yeah.
Oh, you just did a line with BSC. I'm not sure if you can talk about it, but
Well, that particular line came from another line we built before out in Indiana for the sides of the panel, or the kitchen cabinet. So we're able to size it, drill it, put the toe notches in, all the datas and everything. So now we have the capacity that we can build an entire cabinet, front, back, sides, top, bottom, whatever. We have the equipment now to do all of it. And before, we would leave the panel to the guys that did that for a living, but we found that they lacked some of the technology to do, especially like the toe notches and stuff.
right.
So they would do the parts they were good at, and then they would outsource that. And we found out that we could do it all. So now we have some lines that we're completely doing that. But we do partner with BSC on some of their material handling. They've got some high-speed drills that make the big line for high production.
Right.
We've got one line that we're working on now for, at the end, they're doing like 35 panels a minute.
Wow.
And so it's real high production. But on the other side, the other one we did in Indiana was more of a just-in-time application. But it's so flexible. I mean, we do 6 to 7 panels a minute, but everyone can be a different one. So it's just, who's the shop, who's the customer,
What do you want?
and what's the solution that they need.
Yeah.
So, but the equipment for us is basically the same. It's just how do you use it? So we use the same motors, the same stuff.
Figure it the right way.
So from a spare parts and service standpoint, I don't have to have 50 million different parts.
Right.
It's still the same components, but we use them just in a different way.
Right. So and we didn't really talk about it, but you do a lot of custom machine building for these kind of lines where you configure them from your basics. You configure them to do a job.
Yeah, we try to use the standard solutions in custom applications. So it's like, you build a race car for a dirt track or speedway. It's still a car. You just got to have the right tires and say.
It's true.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you walk around the factory, a lot of the components, a lot of the castings look very similar, and sometimes by looking at it, you don't even know what machine it's exactly for in the process, because a lot of the parts are interchangeable.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes us look really smart on the service side if I have one part, even though it might be for 50 machines, but I have your exact parts.
Have what you need.
How
Well-
we're doing on time, boss? Probably.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to cut this one a little short. These guys got to get on an airplane, and I got to run them to the airport, so I'll try not to speed. But
But just try, but you can speed it.
well, I want to thank you for sitting in with us and tell us a little bit about your company. And,
Thank you.
We enjoy working with you. It's been a great partnership, and we're looking forward, like I said, to continue it well on into the future.
Yes.
I'm glad you came to visit us.
Thank you,
Yep.
and thank you for your support up to now.
All right. Till next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to support our buddies at Green Street Joinery by subscribing to the American Craftsman podcast and their new YouTube channel, Today's Craftsman. Both links in the description of today's podcast.